Jai Gurudev. So the spiritual master is to be considered the Atma, or the very life of the disciple, since real life begins when one is initiated by the Sadguru. It is the second birth which is given to the devotee by awakening him to the spiritual life. That's why the spiritual master is the very basis of the life of the disciple. When the Lord gives himself to a pure devotee, the devotee becomes immersed in the highest possible ecstasy. One should never consider one's spiritual master to be on an equal level with oneself. Guruji said, I restrain myself. Put a zero, a comma, and a million of zero and then a one, and this is nothing in comparison how much I restrain myself in this life. Once, in a small village called Piran-Kalir, not far from Delhi, lived a saint called Bik Sahib. It was at the time of the Muslim ruler Akbar, in between 1550 and 1600. And one day, one of the disciples of Bik Sahib was walking in the street and he was chanting the name of his guru constantly, Bik, 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 Bik. And a Qazi, so a controller of the Muslim religion, was passing by and he asked him, who are you, good man? And the answer was, I am Bik. And who is your Murshid? Who is your master? The answer was again, Bik. And tell me, who is your God? Bik was the reply again. And the Qazi, the controller of Islam, was highly displeased by this answer. And a crowd had formed around the disciple. So they dragged him off to the mosque to recant, to renounce his heretic belief. So once again he was asked the same question, but his replies remained the same. So greatly annoyed, the Qazi declared to the crowd that this disciple of Bik was clearly a non-believer and as such he should be hanged. So the Qazi arranged to bring the disciple to the Sultan Akbar in Delhi, who would sit in judgment on him. Akbar again asked the same three questions and obtained the same answer from the disciple of Bik. The disciple added, O Sultan, whatever I have, this belongs to Bik Sahib. Without him, I have nothing and I am nothing. Akbar was a perceptive and God-fearing ruler. He realized that this disciple was delirious with love for the Lord, and it would be improper to put him to death. So, at this time, his kingdom was suffering from a great drought. And Akbar asked the disciple, could your master help the countryside by making it rain? And the disciple answered, Sir, I will go and ask. Akbar was confident that if such a master could inspire such a love, he could also make it rain. So the Sultan told him, please go at once. And the Qazi said, but he will run away. Let him run away, replied Akbar. So the disciple went to the jungle to pray. Bik, my beloved, the king wants to entreat you for rain for his parched lands. Everything happens by your will. Only you knows what benefits us. And immediately there was a doorpour which gladdened the heart of everyone to see this rain. On the next day, the disciple returned to the court of Akbar and asked, Sir, were you satisfied by the rain? Akbar was filled with gratitude and said, "Yes, yes, my good man, it has revived the crops in every district. No amount of thanks should be sufficient." "Big did it," answered the disciple. "Please tell me about this big more that you are talking so often," asked Akbar with curiosity. "He's my master," answered the disciple humbly. "But tell me anything you want," said Akbar. "Name your reward." "I want only big," answered the disciple. So moved by the intense love of the disciple for his master, the Sultan decreed, "I grant hereby your master 21 villages." And he handed a scroll to the disciple. "Will you kindly carry it to him with my thanks and gratitude?" asked Akbar. But to everyone's surprise, the disciple handed back the scroll to the king, saying, "Sir, these villages will have no value in the eyes of my master, for they are merely temporary things of this world. I must humbly decline, Your Majesty." Akbar was well enough acquainted with the ways of the holy man to understand. Nevertheless, he sent some members of his court to deliver the scroll to Bik. A few days later, when the disciple met his master, Bik Sahib told him, "My son, you have only asked for rain, but that was the time you could have asked for anything, and you would have received it. For you were in communion with me, and I was in communion with the Supreme Lord." And the disciple replied, "What would I have done with anything else? I want you alone." You see, when we say Jai Gurudev, we are greeting the Guru in the heart of the others. When a devoted disciple gets the opportunity, he tries to observe and to serve his Guru and to follow his teachings. Not only does he want to live by his example, but he wants to become one with him. In this way, he himself becomes a blessing for many others. He multiplies the Guru's blessing and carries them into the world. Guruji needs us to do just that, to surrender to him so that he can act through us. But for this, we have to work on ourselves. In 2010, we arrived with the car with Guruji Pramod, who was not Swami Aniruddha yet, and me in Padua. I was driving. I saw no way sign marked in Italian, and I saw cameras and remember the 4 fines I received shortly for having gone into Rome in Forbidden Street 1 year ago. So we tried to go to the center, but signs of forbidden directions keep us away from the center. And it started to rain. The mist was so thick on the windscreen that I could not see anything. And Pramod showed me to my left parking spaces that seemed available. I was hesitating. The cars behind me were honking with their horn, and people were getting impatient. I could not understand the sign. I did not know if I can stop. I was completely stressed. Finally, I decided to stop. And Guruji said to me, "Why are you getting angry? If you don't understand Italian, Pramod can get off and ask where to park." And I said, "Yes, this is true. I get angry and it's not necessary. I should not, but I can't help it." And Guruji said, "Oh, excuse me for saying this." I said, "No, you don't have to excuse yourself. It's good that you point out to me my nervosity, at least that way I can see it. There is nothing in the world that I want more than to lose this arrogance, this nervousness, this anger that is in me. I pray to the Divine Mother and to all the saints every day to take this away from me. And Guruji answered, so if you want it to leave you, it will leave you. And I said, but for the time being, it's not going away at all. It is getting worse and worse. And Guruji said, if you are aware of this, it will go away. I said, if you say so. I was sad, but also happy that Guruji gives me the hope, because at the moment I was rather desperate to see the end of this tunnel. I was afraid to open my mouth because in every word I was saying there was arrogance. So finally we parked the cart and we went to the Cathedral of St. Anthony. When I was thinking about what was happening, my tears were flowing down and I thought, I rely only on God. I have only Him. Only His love makes me bear my condition. So we went to visit the tomb of Saint Anthony. Looking at the magnificent scenes carved in marble, I thought of the work that all saints must have done on themselves. All the saints and hermits had to confront also their ego, their arrogance, their vanity. And this work is not visible to anyone. Guruji often says in his satsang, know yourself. Learn who you are. He says, know your way of being, of speaking, of acting. Know your feelings, your thoughts. As it was written on the step entrance of the temple of the Oracle of the Pitti in Greece, know yourself. And it is hard to sculpt marble and to represent people in a block of marble, but the inner work is harder than stone. This is why Saint Silouan of Mount Athos was saying, do not despair, hold your spirit in hell and rejoice in the Lord. Because the more one discovers this ego, the more one is shocked. Saint Philippe Neri was saying, vanity, vanity, all is vanity. And he was chanting, of what I thought was me, there is nothing left that I want to keep. Only love remains. Even though in spirit Guruji is unlimited and boundless on this planet, he needs us to spread that light that he represents. We are part of him. It is not just enough to be a good devotee. We are much stronger when we realize him in us, when we let him dwell and work inside of us. His work then will be multiplied manifold when this happens. And when this happens, we discover our own greatness, our own unlimited beingness and divinity. This is a blessing and the gift that Guruji gives to those who give themselves totally to him. Remember what Christ said to his disciples, he that finds his life shall lose it, and he that loses his life for my sake shall find it. So when we surrender and dedicate ourselves to God and Guru, we identify ourselves with Guruji and his mission. We make it our mission. Ignoring and forgetting our little problems, fears and petty desires. We give ourselves totally to it and realize what we are here for. All the projects that we are working on which are important for Swami's work. To realize, just like St. Francis realized, It is in giving that we receive. It is only in giving away, making space inside of us, that we are able to receive Him. In giving love, we received 100 times more. Love God, then you will feel how much He loves you. When a child makes a mistake, of course, the mother will slap the child, a small slap. But the mother's heart stays the mother's heart, no matter how many mistakes the child makes. The mother showers more love afterwards. And with the Sadhguru, it's the same. His heart also stays the same, even if sometimes he has to slap us a little bit. When we sit down with God and talk to Him, we will see, He will say, I slapped you, but my love inside is stronger for you. And His love will be much more and in more abundance. It is always for our own good. In India, there is many temples where there is no deity. There is only the Guru's picture or the samadhi of the Guru. And the disciple or the devotees of this master just venerate their Guru. They have Guru Bhakti, nothing else. Jai Gurudev.